Hey everybody, it's Donna and Rulan here from
Hello.
the Key Leaves Everything Saxophone Podcast NAMM Hang 2019.
And we are here with some really special guests. We have Ralph Torres from Eastman and Ryan Richmond from Eastman, and they're showing off some 2 pro saxes that you've got to see. Which one do you guys want to start with? Should we start with this one? Okay. So tell us about the 600 here. This is a beautiful pro horn, and you're going to see some of these features here.
So this instrument is kind of the culmination of many years of work of getting to a point where Eastman's making our saxophone line within our own saxophone factories, and this is the first of our professional within that range. This is the EAS 650. It's a more traditional sound concept, a bit more focused, a bit more direct. Some of the key features on it are kind of drawing a blank here, Ryan. Take over, because I've been talking about this horn all day.
I think the viewer, the listener needs to understand that Eastman saxophones, we've been making saxophones for about 8 years, and the saxophones that we make and distribute come from Taiwan. And it's an unlacquered instrument that has a rolled style tone hole, a large bell, and a big wide sound. And that type of instrument doesn't necessarily appeal to all saxophonists. So one of the goals that we wanted to achieve in designing this new line of saxophones was to create something that was more attractive to every student in college that's studying saxophone in a saxophone studio. So classical repertoire and that sort of thing. So we wanted to create an acoustic quality in this saxophone line that was the opposite of the quality of the 52nd Street saxophone. So, we started with a clean sheet of brass. And we make it from the ground up. So we've created 4 models in total. We started with the alto. There's a 200, a 400, a 600, and an 800. Not very, creative, but it works.
It works for Mercedes and BMW. Don't worry about it, man. It's luxury design.
That's right. So the student model is a very well-made instrument without a lot of frills, right? There's no high F sharp, it's nickel-plated keys, you have no engraving, but it's all made of sheet brass. So the neck wasn't made from a tube, it was made like a step-up instrument or an older instrument. So it plays really well, and it has the same intonation as these professional saxophones to give our saxophone students an advantage rather than a disadvantage in the beginning stages. So these 2 top models are our professional instruments, and like Ralph was saying, the features on this instrument is that it is very comfortable. The keywork is very straightforward. It's a nice, lightweight instrument. It doesn't have a lot of oversized parts. We were very careful with the weight of this instrument because that corresponds to how well the instrument resonates. That corresponds to how the instrument blows, how it responds to your breath. So this instrument is our standard professional model. Some of the nice things that we've done on it are we put a C sharp card on it. I always loved those from older saxophones, and when they went away, I thought it would be really nice to bring it back. We've got metal thumb hooks. So just very comfortable keywork.
And really solid construction. I noticed the nickel silver rods on the longest ones that are often bent. Neck tenon, yeah.
So we thought about things that we loved about these old instruments, right? And we wanted to put some of those things back in this instrument and appeal to that market of the saxophone student that is studying serious saxophone in a collegiate studio. So
now also the two-point bell brace.
Yep. So I mean, there's a bunch of features that we could kind of go through the horn and talk about, but we really looked at vintage instruments as we were talking about a team to work on this project, one of our employees, who actually doesn't work for the Eastman brand, but rather works for the Haynes company. Eastman has been the parent company of William S. Haynes since 2004. And the Haynes Flute Company is the oldest manufacturer of flutes in the United States. It goes back to 1888 when William and George Haynes started building flutes in Boston, Massachusetts. So Eastman is the owner of that company, and we still manufacture very high-end flutes in Massachusetts that are played by professionals all over the world. The manager of our key-making department at Haynes, the person who designs keys for very expensive flutes. Expensive? Yeah, like $20,000 to $50,000. Those instruments have beautiful keywork, and David is his name, and he is a saxophonist. He's not a flute player. He's not a flutist. So when
you heard it here, folks. First, all the really inventive people are sax players. That's what we're hearing, even if they make flutes.
He has made flutes for over 30 years.
That's cool.
And he's very fine at that. But he's a saxophone player who loves saxophones. He grew up in Boston, and he would go into the local music store. He would tell me every weekend, and he would buy and sell saxophones for most of his adolescence. So he had a great experience in all kinds of wonderful vintage saxophones. And when we talked about what we wanted to do to make a truly unique professional instrument today, he jumped at the chance. He's like, I want to create that keyboard. So as you look at this saxophone, you'll notice that the side keys, the high F sharp, the chromatic F sharp, palm keys, tables, it's dished and sculpted. You'll notice that the register key, you can see some beautiful curvature to the pointed arm. He really went above and beyond anything that we were expecting to have as a finished product, because I said, do whatever you want, create whatever you want, whatever comes to mind. And so, he was telling me that these shapes are all different. Most saxophones use the same part to make 3 keys.
You can see on this. You can see on this saxophone, those key touches are the same.
Part used 3 times, but on this saxophone, he wanted to shape it more for the palm of your hand, which was really, and it feels delicious in the hand. The side keys that he created feel absolutely amazing.
Can you rotate that saxophone?
Sure.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. I mean, really, really ergonomic, nice plateaus. You have the positive key stops there under. I mean, real premium features on that. And it feels amazing. I had a chance to play it at the GEN, Jazz Education Network conference. And this horn just feels great. I mean, look at that curled bow brace.
Yeah, the body to bell brace with 2 points and the twisted rod stock that he used to make that. That's a little bit of jewelry for the instrument. The shapes here he drew. We've got pencil sketches of all of the guards, the clothes guard, the chromatic F sharp guard.
It's literally his artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. The guard work is almost like a Tiffany's something or the other. It's real elegant. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not. I haven't seen these shapes. So, and again, these large openings are for weight reduction too. We wanted to really pay attention to the overall weight. One thing that I've discovered in researching a lot of saxophones is that modern instruments are a lot heavier. They're a lot heavier than they used to be, and that is something that I think is a detriment to the sound and the playability and the response. So we wanted to pay extra special attention to really vintage horns that we find inspiring, right? To make something modern and new that feels way more comfortable than some of those old instruments, but has kind of the same weight, kind of the same feel. So this has been a labor of love for Ralph and I for over 2 years now.
It's been 3 years.
We didn't make saxophones in an Eastman factory 3 years ago. And this is the end product of what we've been working for. So you have hand engraving, you have a wonderful scale, you have all sheet brass construction that's hammered and annealed and put together the way that they used to do it 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Now, you're saying that for both of these horns, they're more focused as opposed to the 52nd
Yes,
Street.
it's the counterpart.
The counterpart,
Yep.
got it.
And this has some extra system, some extra keys.
Yes.
The way they work is very different from the traditional saxophone. David, being a flute player and making custom flutes for the last 30 years, had some really good insight on how we could use some aspects of flute mechanism in the saxophone, which to my knowledge hasn't ever been done in this manner. And so the evenness of the table, of the main finger buttons, is very different from other saxophones. It has a feel that is so different. At first it took me some practice to play it because it's so even and it's so direct and it's so positive.
It literally
feels like a flute.
it's literally reminiscent of a custom flute.
Yeah. So that's what the DS is that system designator for this model, and that's what really makes it different from the 650 model, where the 650 model is very traditional saxophone. It's the same type of construction.
Ryan, can you talk a little bit about the left-hand spatula table and the cool thing that's happening there? Because when I played that totally blew me away. The speed and ease of just the little shifts that you did on that left pinky table.
So you'll notice on the 650, it's very traditional. It's flat. It's got a little bend at the bottom of the B flat, a pearl in the G sharp. It's what you would expect. And then if you look at this one, it's very, very different. David made these keys by hand, and then we had to replicate them in our factory, where he dished out the B flat. So it's a really nice place to land. You won't
It's almost like a
overshoot it.
cradle.
Yeah. And then he sculpted, the C sharp here has got a bulge kind of, right? It's raised. And it's not perfectly flat. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe we can change the angle.
That's good.
And it's funny, he did that. We didn't talk about it. It was there. And then we worked with a man named Roger Greenberg, who used to teach saxophone at the University of Northern Colorado. And he is our saxophone specialist. And I found an old cover of the Saxophone Journal where Roger was on the cover with his saxophones, and the Saxophone Journal used to list everyone's equipment, right?
Yeah.
And Roger has this older saxophone that he glued a key pearl on the C sharp to raise it. And this kind of does the same thing that we've sculpted into the metal. David and Roger never talked about that, but they both had the same feeling that they wanted something taller there, just for the feel in the hand. And then this is sculpted up so you can, not overshoot, and you can slide really easily, and then the B flat has that dish in it. So it was really, just like the palm keys, just like the F sharps and the side keys, all the keys were really thought of on how it feels in the hand. The register key too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. This is so cool. I'm just gonna geek out on this. When I picked up this horn and I put my hand on it for the first time, it was like I barely had to move. All it was just a muscle flick. And the way that it's cut, you can't really do an improper movement. It's arched up this way so that if you're used to sliding and rolling, I know that's not classical technique, but there's a lot of folks out there who will do a real intense roll, right? On some, you're going to have to move farther, but they just did this beautiful bulge right there so that even if you're using kind of quote-unquote improper thumb technique and rolling, it's still going to trigger so beautifully. And then if you're doing more of just the proper, boom, boom, flick, it's nearly effortless. I mean, it's funny how little things like that made this horn feel so freakishly comfortable. I was spooked. It was so weird.
Tagline, freakishly comfortable. I like it.
Bing! TM.
Yeah. It's really been a lot of work that has paid off, I think. The horn plays beautifully. I can sit and play it for a long time and not get bored, not get tired.
You almost want to practice again.
I almost want to practice.
That's your tagline. The horn that almost makes you want to practice.
Life changes. You get older, you have kids. It's hard to practice, especially in this business. But this horn is so exciting, so fun. It's been a real joy to develop this instrument with David and with Roger and our wonderful team.
Our whole team.
Our factory and the guys that work so hard to create these instruments out of raw materials.
My question to you, are there any plans for making a tenor?
Yes. The plan is to take this model of these 2, 4, 6, 8 instruments, right, and create an entire quartet.
Oh, okay.
Not for the two. We don't need a student Mary or a student soprano in the market, I don't think, but definitely at the 400 level, the 600, and the 800 level, we'll have the whole quartet. And really, we at Eastman have been developing our wind instruments really for about 5 years now at a great pace. We've been working very hard to introduce new models to refine our product, not just in saxophone, but in other wind instruments too. So our goals are very lofty for what our saxophone line can become. And all we need is time.
We already have the tenor body done. We have a student tenor, so we have the guts of it done. We've already developed this, so now it's just a matter of time to make the key work.
And you must test them, and there's that whole period of time where you have to see what changes do, what they do to the instrument. So it's a process. We have a wonderful roster of artists that are so willing and anxious to give us feedback and advice on what we're doing. Whenever there's a new prototype, we call in really any artist that's willing to help us. So, Bob Mitzer will come by the shop and play the new horn, or Harvey Patel will come and try prototypes. And these are guys that have played on instruments for a long time, and they have really strong opinions about saxophones.
And valid opinions.
Yeah. But, we've got 30 or so just outstanding saxophone artists on our roster that have chosen to endorse our company as much as our instruments. So they're all very, very enthusiastically in support of this development and increasing the range of these new instruments. So this is just the beginning.
And I got to point out one other thing that I liked when I first saw it. As a teacher, I saw these silver key touches, and I thought, oh man, that's like the coolest status symbol over time, because you're going to know whether you're playing your horn, right? Over time, these will stay shiny. But if you don't, that's right. Just like a flute that's played well and cared for. I thought, oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, it's a really enjoyable horn to play.
After summer, you're gonna have a lot of tarnished key touches in your.
Hopefully not at this level.
Yeah,
not at this level.
Maybe not, since it's such a beautiful horn.
Yeah, they almost might want to practice.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us today. Again, I encourage everybody to check this horn out. This is a contender. This thing plays and it feels so unique. It's really a good playing horn, and get your hands on it. Play it. because it's cool. And Eastman, as always, is doing some very cool things. And before we go, I gotta do one more thing because we're here at the Key Leaves booth. I gotta show you how it works on the Eastman horns.
Yes.
So what I love about the Eastman horns, they have these big, elegant, sweeping arms. Some companies, they just cram everything tight together and they do these weird arms that are harder to work on, harder to adjust, and don't hold their adjustment well. But they build it right, they build it elegant, and it's so nice, and it works so well with the key leaves. So you just slide it under the key arm. Oh, we're gonna get a camera closer. Thank you, Augie. So you just slide it under the key arm like that, and you can just wrap it around the post, just like that. Super fast, safe in the case, and it works really beautifully on these Eastman horns. So just got to show that off because not every sax maker thinks through their key armature quite so elegantly, and I commend you. Thank you. Yeah.
I have key leaves on all of my saxophones.
Oh, I love it.
Personal saxophones, and as I've been traveling the country with these prototypes, I carry it with key leaves.
Oh,
Everywhere I go.
I love it. Oh man, that made my month. I love it. That's great. And you have some crazy rare saxes too.
Okay. I have a couple. They're not crazy rare. I have a very interesting low A alto from the early 60s, and a lovely live baritone from 1960. Yeah, 1956 alto with an F sharp. Kind of mass we are pretty passionate about saxophones in general.
We're sax nerds.
Yeah, we're sax nerds.
That's good.
That's who's listening to the podcast, right? You're not going to offend them.
Sure. So, as we're developing our instruments, you can't do it in a vacuum, right? So we love to play saxophones from everything and find out what cool and neat things other people are doing as we gain inspiration from them, right? I find most of our inspiration, though, comes from vintage instruments. Secrets that are kind of lost almost. And so, Ralph and I will oftentimes, in Southern California, leave the office and go look in shops for old saxophones. And we're always, Ralph's got a Model 26.
Yes. My father does an old Selmer Model 26.
Bring that in to look at, that's
Just to look at the engraving and think, man, why isn't anyone doing?
And gain inspiration on that kind of stuff. So, we look at a lot of saxophones, but our goal is to really make a wonderful playing, very well in tune, and also very easy to play, beautiful color, sound. It's really important for us to have all those ingredients.
That's great.
Yeah, it's not, finish. This is cellulose lacquer because I think it allows the grass to breathe more, and it's because that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do that. You won't find this saxophone in different finishes or different colors. This is the way it goes.
Yeah. Nice. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for letting us come and show the products.
And thank you guys for the podcast. I stumbled on it a couple months ago. It's such a cool resource for people, and it's really good. It's really cool. Yeah.
More people involved and understanding what's out in the community and meeting artists and all that kind of thing. We wanted to thank you both for your time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Saxophone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you so much. Great to have you both here.